YouTube, it's Faye, and for today's video, we're gonna put spark plugs in my 2023 Toyota Supra. That's right, quick little maintenance item. Now, this is actually not the Supra that I own. This is the one that I leased to fill the void while I was fixing up my 2021. This one actually has more miles on it. Almost 40,000 miles right now, so we are almost time for spark plugs. And because we do everything early and excessive over here, we're gonna put these in now. That's right, even though I don't own this car, I'm still gonna treat her like gold, people. So, all right, let's get into it. Here's what they look like. Funny little spark plug. I've honestly never seen one like this before. And right off the bat, I'm sure you're seeing what I am seeing. We need a different spark plug socket than normal. So let me show you the tools that you're gonna need to do this job. Here is everything that I use to do this job, starting with the spark plug socket. This is a specialty item. It is a thin-walled 14mm 12-point, and it's magnetic, and this is actually all one piece. So it's wobbly, and it's attached to this extension. This is a little bit on the long side for the Mk5 Supra. I'll link this in the description below anyway. You could also just use a regular socket and then add an extension, but this works freaking phenomenally. The only other specialty socket is this little E8, and since this is 1/4-inch drive, I do have a reducer, a 1/4-inch drive extension, and then also my teeny tiny little torque wrench is a 1/4-inch drive. So I also have another adapter, a basic ratchet, a 90-degree pick was really helpful, and a flathead screwdriver. I used my hood extenders, mostly because my shop is really dark, and when I extend the hood just a little bit up, a little bit more light gets in and you guys can see much better. Battery power, though not necessary. All of my spark plugs. There is the part number. They give you the torque spec right there on the end of the box. A little bit of anti-seize, and I did check the gap prior to installation just to make sure it was the same. So first thing I'm gonna do is take my 90-degree pick and push in on that little tab and push these oxygen sensor connectors away from me so that I'm able to access a couple of the coils. Then in the back here, we have this little acoustic cover held on by a little rubber ball. Pull up on this aggressively to gain access to the rear coil. Then with my 90-degree pick, I pull up all the little push tabs on the electrical connectors for the coils. Then I go back in with my little pocket screwdriver, and while I depress the tab, I give just a little bit of pressure in between the coil and the connector housing, but this is a very little bit of pressure. It should not take much to pop it off. Lastly, disconnect the high-pressure fuel pump connector. Now with my E8 socket and a small extension, I'm gonna remove all of the fasteners holding on the coils. I do so by loosening them all by hand first, and then going back in with battery power. Then I like to pull each of the coils up and lay them directly next to the cylinder that they came from, just keeping everything in order. Then loosening my spark plugs with my special spark plug socket. You can see here what I mean when I said the extension is a little bit long, but personally I like it this way because it makes it easier to thread them in and out by hand with more surface area. So when I set them down on the table, I like to keep them in order 1 through 6, just so if I see any red flags, I know what cylinder I have to look at, but obviously these all look fine. That being said though, comparing old to new, both from the dealership, I'm seeing they're two completely different brands. What came in the car from the factory are these NGKs, and look at that long part number, oh my goodness, SILZKGR8E8S. Okay, so from the factory, and then these from the dealership. It's a little bit lighter, harder to read, but you can see it says Champion there. So not an NGK, we've got a Champion. And once again, very long part number, RERX4ZWY PD-1. So, all right, I'm not loving that they're not the exact same thing, but let's see. Next I'm gonna do is just measure the gap real quick. Look at how tiny the gap on that factory plug is. Oh my goodness, what is it? Okay, we have 28 thousandths. And the new ones are the same. What? Okay, I mean, so the factory considers them to be identical. What the? I'm not loving this. In fact, I'm kind of hating this, but I just need to get past it. That's way too much. Oh my God, that's way too much. Elephant paint. Oh my God. This is weird. I was really surprised to open up the box and find Champion spark plugs. And then I was even more confused to open up the box and find that they, Whatever. Okay, we're gonna install these. So for the record, I did just reach out to my BMW Master Tech friend and ask what the heck is up with these mismatched spark plugs. And he said, yep, that happens. And when that happens to him, he normally just goes back to parts and switches them out so they are all the same. Now, I can't do that right now because when I ordered from the Toyota dealership, I had to wait 3 days for them to come in, and it's an hour away. And if I drove there now, not only would they probably not have them, but it would be closed. So this is just note to you, when you go to the dealership and order these parts, open them up when you're there and just verify that they're all the same. Alrighty, now let's drop them back in one at a time, nice and gentle. And once again, here, the tool is perfect for the install. I don't know, I just love it. I spin all the plugs in by hand until I can't turn them anymore, and then it's time for the torque wrench. 23 Newton meters. Now that we've torqued all of them down, let's just get our little coils back in place. For all these little E-torques, I'm going to thread them in by hand first. You want to be careful not to screw these up. They're going into plastic, and also, if you didn't notice, they are integrated into the little coil there. I'm sure we could get them out and replace them if we needed to, but it just seems like more of a pain than it's worth. So just do it right. The torque spec for the ignition coil is 8 Newton meters, or 71 inch-pounds. And now let's plug everybody back in. Back coil. Alright, let's get this lovely engine cover back on, and yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm gonna fire her up and make sure she feels good, and then I'm gonna remove my hood extenders. Now let's finish by resetting the maintenance reminder. I did also do an oil change today, and typically on these engines the spark plugs are replaced every third oil change, so just resetting the oil reminder is enough. Obviously, we do more frequent oil changes around here, so I think we're at 7 or 8 at this point, but you get the idea. Thank you so much for watching. I hope that you enjoyed this video, and I hope that this helps you change the spark plugs on your Mk5 Supra. All right, see you in my next video. Bye!